All right, so in our third episode here, we're jumping to a mammal. So we've gone from a bird to a dinosaur to a mammal.
Because mammals and dinosaurs evolved at the same time during the end of the Triassic.
Yeah.
So, and birds evolved from dinosaurs. So I'm going backwards in when things evolved.
Okay.
So I started with the newest and going back. So next up would be mammals.
Would be mammals.
And this is my favorite mammal.
And this is well, I guess you give the name of this one. Yeah. This is a pronghorn, which is a...
I give the name of all of them except third week.
What's this? The pronghorn is a what?
Artiodactyl. Even-toed hoofed animals. So, like, two toes on its hoof.
So, the dactyl, like, does pterodactyl, earth, two-toed something?
I don't remember.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
I don't know enough of the Latin well enough when it comes to dactyl.
They also use Greek sometimes, so we'll have to.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway.
But even-toed hoofed animal so they would have 2 or 4 as opposed to having 1 or 3.
Yes, which is the Precydactyls. Like I believe rhinos are in that group because they have like 3 toes or 5 or something.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. All right, and currently alive.
Yes,
this particular
pronghorns
creature.
live. Yeah, the reason I had to specify that is because pronghorns, one of their unique traits is that they can run up to 60 miles an hour for extended periods of time.
Okay,
that's really fast.
Yeah,
and they live out in the American West still today.
Right.
Why? No predator can nearly get that fast.
Yeah.
What purpose do they have?
Even cheetahs can only run that fast for
a few seconds.
Sure, yeah.
But that's the point. They were running from cheetahs. But think about it. We don't have cheetahs in North America.
Yeah, and these are in you say Western and Central.
The Great Plains.
The Great Plains here. Okay. Currently, they're in this area. Okay.
But they always were there.
Okay.
But back in the Pleistocene, the Ice Age, it's called the scientific word's Pleistocene.
Okay.
There was American cheetahs. Giant cheetahs used to live out in the American West.
Ah, nice.
Specifically, McCormick's.
Okay.
I have the names on the post. I can.
Okay.
But yes, that was a giant cheetah that used to hunt pronghorn. So they got that fast to avoid the cheetahs. But then when the Ice Age ended, a lot of the megafauna went extinct. Whether that was climate or humans or both is up for debate.
Right.
But the cheetahs were extinct. And the pronghorn were like, well, we're fast now.
Yeah.
And
not gonna
we
slow
can't
down.
outrun anyone. Yeah. So that's why pronghorns still can run super fast.
Nice. So they don't have a lot of successful predators, I would assume.
They are hunted by things like cougars, wolves, coyotes, grizzly bears, bobcats, even golden eagles can take down.
Oh, wow.
Eagles, large birds of prey, can take down pretty impressive prey.
So how big typically?
A pronghorn's about the size of deer.
Okay, it's so big, but not like
huge. No,
not like moose big.
No,
not
moose. God, not moose big. Moose are big. Trust me. If you've never seen a moose compared to a car, look it up. Moose are huge.
Yeah.
Which is why you don't mess with moose. By the way, don't mess with moose.
So kind of the size of a deer, but as fast as a cheetah, living across the Great Plains.
Also, here's the thing: they're often called antelope.
Okay.
Here's the thing: they're not antelope.
Okay.
They're also not deer.
Okay.
They're their own thing.
All right.
They're like unique, and I can explain a way to tell.
Okay.
Deers have bony antlers that shed every year.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see like an animal sanctuary with like a roof of antlers, they did not kill all their deer.
Right.
The antlers fall off every year.
Right.
On the other hand, antelope, like in Africa, they have horns. They do not fall off or even shed anything. They are just a horn.
Okay.
Pronghorns have horns that shed a sheath every year. Like the top layer comes off.
Okay.
So they're kind of like in the middle.
So when you see those things, I've seen those like when we've traveled, that it's like hollow.
Yes.
So you could like slide it onto a cone.
When it sheds off,
it's
because
hollow.
it sheds off the top. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. And is that bone or hair or?
It's bone. The center, I believe, is bone.
Is bone.
Because it's still a horn.
Okay.
Okay, so horns are like permanent bones. Antlers are like bones that grow and then fall off.
Okay.
Also, antlers usually are just the bone. When they start going, they might have a velvet fur. It's called velvet, but like a furry coat that will get scraped off.
Okay.
And it looks bloody, but it's fine.
Right.
It's just scraping off that stuff.
Right.
Horns will have, I believe, not necessarily a keratin, but they'll have like I think like some sort of
more
sheath.
bony, solid
They'll
core
have
and then the
have a
sheath on it.
sheath over it.
Right.
But most of them don't shed it like pronghorns do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see. I'm just seeing some other things here. Pleistocene, cheetah.
Also, one thing I want to note. I say at the end that they could possibly even hunt by jaguars.
Yeah.
Why is that? They can't live in Mexico and stuff, but jaguars live in South America. Actually, jaguars can wander up into Central America, and sometimes even up into like Arizona and Texas, like because animals they live in certain places. They can walk other places.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like us where we live in a set place. Animals can go other places. They just walk. So it's not.
Are these? I guess this is something we didn't talk about with the previous two.
Yeah.
So two things. Each of the animals, do they tend to live in groups, herds, or independently?
Cocks of the rocks live alone, I think, but they come together in leks during the breeding season, where males will come together and show off.
Okay.
And the females will find the male that looks the best. But they're like arenas. They call them leks, essentially.
Okay, so typically they're off and they're paired, but then they'll come together.
Pronghorns and Parasaurolophus are and believed to have lived in herds.
Okay, so there would have been
Pronghorns live in herds. Parasaurolophus are believed to have lived in herds.
Any particular migrations?
Pronghorns migrate.
Okay.
And it's actually a problem. They've started to get caught on fences and stuff.
Okay.
So they've actually started like to clear certain paths so that they can migrate. It's like a thing I believe people have started to do. It's like
and I've seen things, and this may not relate to these guys, but where they've like over highways made land bridges.
Yes.
Literally build a bridge but plant it with grass.
There's
and
two
everything.
reasons for that. One of them is migration, but also species need to mix.
Right.
If you just separate a population, inbreeding is going to
So
happen.
if you run a highway through, then now you've isolated.
So we started making bridges for animals to walk across.
Okay.
Which is very good.
And they're specifically they're real land bridges.
Yes.
They're not. They don't have like asphalt or anything.
No.
It's just growth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's technically made of concrete, but then they put dirt on top of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a living roof or something.
Yes.
So very cool. So these are now at zoos anywhere?
Columbus Zoo, Minneapolis Zoo are two zoos I know of that have pronghorn.
Okay. So they are around. And I guess the other thing we didn't cover, well, the Parasaurolophus, very endangered. But the cock of the rock,
pronghorn, I
endangered?
believe they're fine. I believe
Both are
pronghorn
fine?
and pronghorn are fine.
Okay.
Pronghorn might be a little vulnerable from what I remember, but I think they're doing fine.
Okay.
If something's endangered, I tend to mention it.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So that was the pronghorn.
Yeah.
That if you live out in the Great Plains somewhere, you might.
Or even Oregon and Mexico, there's populations in like Oregon.
Oh, okay.
Like, Oregon has like its own subspecies actually. So
Oh, very cool.
I actually identified the ones I own as specifically Oregon pronghorn.
Oh, so this one pictured
Yes, is
is
specific.
the Oregon. Okay.
I do subspecies, which some subspecies are just like declared not subspecies.
Right,
It's a
right.
very weird thing. Recently, Bengal tigers and Siberian tigers were just combined, I think.
Right.
Wikipedia has all these different wolf subspecies. I don't know if most of them are even real anymore.
Right.
So it's when you get that specific and
Right.
like it's the same species, but like they're separate populations, it gets a little weird.
Okay.
But I'd like to do it. There's something fun to do.
All right.
But yeah.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up this episode. All right.